Thanks. Well, look now at the top 10 players in the world and their rank strokes gained around the green. Scheffler's strong. Think about his chip in Sunday at the Masters on the third hole, that enormous momentum swing. On the other hand, you can see Rahm, Morikawa, Hovland, they've struggled in that department. With more, let's go down to the golf course. Brad and Brandel.
Thank you, Rich. As that graphic just pointed out, there are some notable question marks about the short game coming into this week. Notably, Collin Morikawa, Jon Rahm, and Viktor Hovland. If only I could find somebody that had a great short game to help us out with this segment. You know, it turns out if you need Google Earth to find your tee shots and you win 8 times on the PGA Tour, you're probably pretty good at this aspect. Well, I don't know who I'm referring to here, but Lewis, first of all, we're out here on the practice area, and you just talked to Viktor Hovland. He was right over there, and you asked him, right? Does this simulate what they're going to face on the golf course? Does it, and what will the players face when they miss a green out here?
Well, it does. We all know Gil Hanse did a renovation here, and he exposed the outer edges of all the greens so that you might see a lot of shots running off down to a low area like we are. Hanse does a lot of his renovations, makes his practice areas look exactly like the golf course, like it is right here. And Viktor said this is identical to what you see on the course. And what's different is the height of these fairways. It's 0.4 of an inch. It's much higher than players normally see. There's really usually another mowing pattern where it's really tightly mown.
So you could almost argue that that's better for the players that are having trouble chipping, because they got room to get the club under the ball.
Definitely. The ball will be sitting up easier. There's a little cushion underneath it. It's not as tightly knit as it usually is, but what it's going to make different and difficult, and we have a typical shot here. This is going to be up about 6 or 7 feet. My ball's hit on the edge of the green and roll.
Wipe the 7-iron, way to the right of the green, Fax. I know that would never happen to you, but what are you going to do here?
Well, it rolls down to the bottom. I've got this tight pin here, and typically I would take out a putter on what the players play every week, or maybe run it with a hybrid, but it's really difficult.
Right, normally the fringes are cut much, so it's easy to putt it up there, right?
Yeah, now it might be easy to putt it up there, but it's going to be hard to control the speed because you're having to hit this so hard up this slope, maybe 20 or 30 feet of green to work with to a tight pin. I'm going to have to take a big swing, and then once it gets to the green, now it's fast, because most of the time it's going to go up the hill and then start rolling away. Let me try this here. I can't imagine how hard I'm going to have to swing.
Right, so we're going to see that a lot if players are trying to putt.
Right, and then so now they'll compensate and go, I better swing a lot harder. Not bad, but that's a putt with 10 feet down the hill, right?
Right, not terrible.
So I think now players are going to have more options, and I might say you're going to see a lot of players take a less lofted club. Maybe this is a gap wedge that I can hit along the ground. And my idol was Jose Maria Olazabal. He was the two-time Masters champion. He would be very good at a square face. He'd have that shaft leaning forward. The ball's back in his stance. And that's already better
just
than
drive it into the hill.
Yeah, drive it into the hill. A little bit of risk there on how much spin you have, but that's an option that we don't see very often anymore on the tour.
Right, and if you wanted to go with another option.
Right now, this is the lob wedge, the most loft of any club. This is 60. I think this shot, now I have to fly this to the green. I have to make a longer swing, which is going to bring in more chance for error. I have to open that face a lot.
Pretty good on
Your aim's pretty good.
You'll
have a tap in.
So the players are going to have plenty of options. They can hit a 3-iron, a 6-iron, a hybrid, run it up the hill, or they can cut the legs out from under it. But not likely they're going to use this.
Putter's not the first thing that's coming out of the bag. And hats off to Kerry Haig, who's, you know, he's in charge of doing that for the PGA of America. And I think the players are going to applaud that.
In fact, this place has been notorious for producing some of the greatest chippers of all time, like what?
Ray Floyd, Hubert Green, even Nick Price, the week he won, he says an exceptional week for him around the greens.
So we're enhancing. I don't know why we don't say that about Gil's work. Enhancing. He's enhanced the chipping areas here. Rich, it's early in the show, I know, but I think you can handle the rest of the show on your own. I'm going to talk him into giving me a putting lesson. Let's go.